Hey guys, this is Scott of the Science Duo, and today I want to show you a sneak peek into our All Access membership. So what I've done is I've gone to lessons.thescienceduo.com, and that brings us to the page that you're looking at right now. And right here at the very top, you see our All Access membership. I'm going to click Learn More, and we're just going to go through a few of the things that you get with your monthly subscription that we're offering right now. So let me scroll down. This is the All Access page. Right here, this gives you all of the resources that are included in the membership currently. And keep in mind, everything that we put out in the future, you get access to that too as long as you're a member. So right now, every single thing that you see here, you have access to when you become a member of the site. The station bundle, it runs $229 by itself. You get access to that for $29 a month, every single thing here. If I scroll down a little bit, it says every resource 500 and growing. It's actually 600 and growing now. I need to update that because we just finished our last project that we were working on, our assessment bundle, about a month ago. It's $99 by itself. It includes 63 editable assessments. There's a question bank that comes with each assessment. There's a pre-made assessment. There's answer keys. You get it all. 63 different topics are covered. You can tweak it, change it however you'd like. That's included with your $29 a month membership. All future updates, all future resources, access to our Facebook support group where Natalie and I are in there. We help out with any questions you may have. There's other members in there that can help out. You can talk about pacing, scope and sequence, what resources you like to use for certain topics. It's just a place for you to go and just communicate and collaborate with everybody. We're hoping that this will save you a lot of time, and we're hoping that it's a budget-friendly option to give you access to every single thing that we've created for one monthly price. You know, honestly, it's the cost of like a trip to Starbucks once or twice a week, right? So the biggest thing is we only offer this a few times per year, and that's going on right now. So if that's something you're interested in, let's go ahead and take a look at everything that you can get. All right, so let's take a sneak peek now at everything that's included. So I've logged into my dashboard now. That's what you're looking at. And when you become a member, this is probably how your dashboard will look, a little similar to this. It can be a little overwhelming. So there's a search bar right here that I can search from. We also have alignment guides right here. I can click Start Course and I can go through our alignment guides. Let me just take you in here real quickly. On the left-hand side is like the table of contents. On the right is a preview of what I'm highlighted on. So I'm going to click the TEACS alignment guide, and it's going to bring up all of these links. We have our standards here. I'm going to maximize this a little bit, expand it. These are all of the TEACS standards. These are links to the resources by bundle. So we have stations, task cards, circuits, dominoes, I have, who has, card sort, vocabulary sorts, and that goes on and on and on. If you want to search that way, literacy articles, PowerPoints, assessments, they're all listed for you. That's a massive document. You have access to that. If you want to print that, or if you just want to use it directly from your dashboard here, up in the corner I could download it or I could print it. Okay, so you can do either one of those so that you can have that. I'm going to go ahead and click right here, go back to dashboard, and let's take a look at some of the resources you get. So a popular one that we have are Warmups. I'm just going to type Warmup in the search bar, and it's going to pull up everything that has that keyword attached to it. So if you look here, we have safety, weather, structure of life, space, force and motion, energy. Click on to page 2, ecosystems, earth, and chemistry. 62 weeks of warm-ups. Let's just take a look at the ecosystems warm-ups real quick. I'm going to click Start Course. It's going to pull up everything that's included in our ecosystems warm-up bundle. They're all listed here out on the left side. So we're looking at adaptations right now. We have biomes. You can read that all the way down to ecological succession. Let me just click on, I'm just going to click on food chains. You get a full-size version of every single one of these warm-ups. That's what you're looking at, and they go by day. Day 1, Day 2, Day 3, Day 4, Day 5. We tried to mix up the questions to just make it a little bit more interesting for students while we're still hitting major concepts that they need to know. We're big believers in a daily warm-up. Helps to set a routine, also helps to get kids focused on your class, gives you time to take attendance or do anything that you have to deal with in the hallway before class starts. It's a great way to get students focused on science. These all hit major units, major topics that students need to know. There's answer key there. That's our full-size version. You also get the interactive notebook version, which looks like this. It's 2 per page. It conserves paper. If you don't use interactive notebooks, that's fine. You can still use these, have students put them in their folder or binder. We've hole punched these before. It works really good. It's just a smaller version. It's all the same information. All 62 of our warm-ups come in full size and interactive notebook size. So that's just a sneak peek at our ecosystems warm-ups. Let's go back to the dashboard. Let's look at another real popular product, our stations. So again, I'm just using that search bar to type stations, and it's going to pull up everything that has the term stations in it. You can see all of our science stations. Alright, so I'm just going to click on, let's just go to the safety ones. I just click Start Course. You could also click See Overview. That just kind of gives you a preview of everything that's included. But I know this is what I want to look at, so I'm going to click Start Course. And again, in the left-hand column, it's going to bring up all of the documents that I can look at that I can either download or print. So in our stations, we have a Read First Quick Start Guide. Super important that you read that first. That's why we put it in all of the stations up there. This gives the teacher all the background information of how to run these stations in your class. So there's an introduction, there's descriptions of the stations. We have 7 stations. They're kind of cool. They spell out the word science. So you have summarize, create, interpret, experiment, navigate, challenge, extend. And students are doing a different task at each station that relates to the concept that the station is designed for. So this gives the teacher, it gives you everything that you need to know. It gives you suggestions for use, timing. If you want to time the stations, you don't have to. Totally depends on your class. Sometimes kids are, they need that timing mechanism to keep them on task, and sometimes kids are great with just rotating on their own. That's totally teacher preference and how you want to run your class. You can run these. We give suggestions on letting kids do it by themselves or with partners. We give you some best practices. These are stations. After you run a couple of them in your class, like, the students can do them on their own. Like, you become a facilitator. You don't have to tell them everything to do. They know how it works. And you can truly sit back and just assist when needed. Not sit behind your desk or anything, but you're out there in the open and helping students that need help, and they're leading the class. They're taking responsibility for their learning, which is great. And then it talks about assessing your students, and it gives you some information. If you have questions, you can contact us. That's the Quick Start Guide. All right, or the teacher guide. It gives you the signs in the Quick Start Guide that you can print. If you print these one time and laminate them, or put them up however you'd like, you don't have to print them again. These go for all 63 of our stations. Those come in black and white too. Show you those real quick. There they are. And then you get general directions. Also, these can be printed one time, and they can be placed, like I said, in folders or sheet protectors, or you can laminate them, and you do not have to print them again. These are general directions that go for all 63 stations. It's what you put on the student's desk, and it tells the students what they're going to be doing in general terms at that station. All of that is discussed in the teacher guide. So if you read that teacher guide, it explains everything much more detailed than what I just did. I'm just trying to go through it quickly. Alright, so let's click on one of our stations. We have lab tools and equipment. Let's look at that one. Very first thing we have in that folder is the teacher setup. Again, that's specific instructions for the teacher for this specific lab, science lab. It gives you some pictures down here, the most important part that we get the most questions about is right here, the challenge section. In this section, it gives you the pin for the challenge cards that you need, or it shows you how to set up a pin. It gives you the link to the cards. You do not have to buy those cards separately. They are included through this link. You click that link, you follow these directions, it gives you access to the cards that you need. It shows you how to set up a pin number for your students to use for that station. It's a super cool station, digital, through Boom Learning's website. We've had a lot of good feedback about that, and it's a cool little thing that they got going on there. So there's teacher setup, station activities. It's going to pull up all of the major stations that students will be doing. We recommend printing a couple of these for each station so that there's not too many kids all in the same spot. You know how that goes if you get too many middle schoolers all in one spot in the room, how that could be. So that's all discussed though in our teacher guide, how many to print, best practices, things like that. That comes in black and white. Also, then we have student recording sheet, comes in color and black and white. Show you the black and white one real quick. There it is. And then we have an answer key that you can print or download. All of these are printable or downloadable. And the cool thing about the student sheet and the answer key down here is we really like the very bottom part. It's a student reflection. So at the end of doing all the stations, students can reflect on how they feel they understood the concept. So which concept do you understand the best? Explain. Which concepts are you struggling with the most? Explain. What steps do you need to take in order to improve your understanding? So it's kind of like putting it on the students a little bit, like, reflecting, being honest with themselves. Do they understand it or not? This is totally no right or wrong answers here, and that's what you want to tell your students, that you need to be honest with this, be honest with yourself. If they rank themselves down here on a 0 to like a 3 on the scale, they're going to need some intervention. You don't want to move on with those students without making sure that they've come to tutorials or you've worked one-on-one with them, or they've worked in a small group, because they're not getting that concept. If they're in a 5 to a 4 to a 6 range, they're getting there, but they're still struggling a little bit, still have some questions. And if they're up here at the top part of the scale, they totally get it, or they feel that they get it. Of course, we would go back and check their answers. You know how that can be too. Some students rank themselves up here, and then you go look at their answers, and it's, they maybe should have been ranked a little lower. So it's just kind of a good little thing to self-reflect for the students. But that's included in every single one of those station labs too. So that's just one of the 63 station labs that we have. So let's go to our dashboard. Let's look at one more. Let's look at Notebook. That's going to pull up everything that has that keyword attached to it, so our interactive notebooks. And we have 9 different bundles of notebooks. So let's just look at, let's go to Energy. It's 18 notebook activities. I'm going to click Start Course. And these documents, there's not as much on the left-hand column. We loaded the entire notebook into one document. So you'll notice I'm highlighted on it right now, and on the right side, the entire Energy notebook is here. Here's the table of contents. And all of the templates are here. What we like about these is that we give the students directions on specific things that they need to do to complete that template. It can be a little tricky sometimes if they're doing a template for the first time, not really understanding where do I put the glue, or where do I tape it, or where do I write, what do I do. We tell them everything right here, what they're supposed to do. As you scroll down, there's 18 different templates for Energy, and then once you get to the last one, we give you photo examples from our interactive notebook. Here they are. Some of the pictures are a little bit better than others, but it gives you an idea of how it should look with possible answers. The cool thing about interactive notebooks is a lot of times, and especially on our templates, there's multiple answers for the same for the same flap that we're talking about, so students can kind of take ownership with that, and they can have a bunch of different answers and it's still right. So that's our energy notebook. We have 9 different notebooks. That bundle's $49, but it's included in the membership, like we said, all for $29 a month. So like we said, you're getting access to over 600 individual resources now for $29 a month. It's the best value that we could offer. One more thing that I want to show you. Down here at the bottom, if you wanted to, you could click page by page and you could go through every single resource that's listed here. That might be a little bit overwhelming. That's why we showed you how to use the search bar up here. If you kind of already have an idea of what you want to use, you can click there and it'll take you to exactly what you need. And then of course there's a chat box down here. You can click on this and it's going to bring up a little window where you can type us a question. And the cool thing about that window is if you type a question to us, it comes directly to our cell phones and our computer. So if we're working on the computer, we get it. If we're out of the office or if we're out of the house, it goes to our cell phone and we can answer you immediately or as soon as possible. So if you ever have a question, go ahead and use that chat function right there and we'll get back to you. All right, so that's a little sneak peek at our membership. If you have any questions, please send them our way at thescienceduo@gmail.com. We'd be more than glad to help you out there. All right, take care.